on the third album, the vocals were shared around more. I think more predominantly because it just took some of the load off him. It just took some of the focus off him, and he was feeling, maybe more attention, public attention than he wanted. It was also a different sound, and it was something different to do. I sang Candy Says on that, and it was, I didn't know I was going to sing that song until we were doing the vocals, and he sang one, and he came back and said, "Why don't you sing one?" And he liked it, so they did that. And the same thing with Maureen. I think it was just, I wonder what it would sound like if you sang it, Maureen, that kind of thing. It happened more later, it was shared even more, because I think he found it made life a little more, it's fun to not always sing. It's fun to kick back and, play the guitar and just sing the harmony and not have to be the, always, the lead voice. I found that out later when Lou left and I was playing and singing all the leads, and I didn't like it. It wasn't as much fun. The reason it's my favorite, the reason the Grey album is my favorite, is because of the sound of it. There was a sort of a zeitgeist. I don't know. It was a personality that the group had at that point. There was a way that the group was together. We'd travel out every weekend and we'd come back. We'd play 2 or 3 nights, and then once or twice a year we'd go on a longer, 2 or 3 weeks out on the road. But it was very comfortable and warm and, tight, and it was really a band. And the reason I like that album is because it sounds like a band. It reflects that. It looks, it has that feeling to it. Loaded was just the opposite. Loaded was fragmented, and you can hear it in there. It's kind of pieced together, and Maureen wasn't in it. She was out, and Sterling he stopped coming after a while, and then he started coming. It was just because and I understood completely. I understand completely now. I didn't really know much then. He was, must have been very frustrating for him to just sit in the control room for hours, while some little part was, thrashed out, and something he wasn't doing. But the sound, the songs that are on the third album are both soft and loud, are just very basic to me. They're very simple. They're very straightforward. They're right in your face. There's not a lot of subterfuge. Did I pronounce that right? My favorite is What Goes On, which every time I do either get a new tape machine or break in a new instrument or anything, that's the first song I make a recording of, is What Goes On. I built an electric mandolin, and its opening piece was What Goes On. I did that show I told you about in Seattle, and that was the last song, What Goes On. It's like, for some reason, that song is the song.